Hey players, it's time to do an updated collection video for my Neo Geo AES and MVS. I've been on YouTube for approximately maybe 7.5 months, and I figured it was about time to just basically show you off my collection. I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, but I got a lot of games. Alright, so let's start it off. First up, it's going to be Metal Slug for my Neo Geo MVS. See? Basically run and gun shooter. It's basically Contra on crack and steroids. If you haven't played Contra, you are missing out on a lot. Next up is going to be Metal Slug 2 for my MVS. Very good game. Played with a bit of slowdown. Next up is going to be Metal Slug X, a fan favorite. Corrected a lot of issues that were with Metal Slug 2. Next up is Metal Slug 3, a personal favorite of mine. Really good game. It was the last Metal Slug produced by the old SNK. Next up is Metal Slug 4. Pretty good game. It's probably the worst in the series. Doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad game, but it was not as good as it should have been. Next up is going to be Metal Slug 5. Pretty good Metal Slug. Introduce a couple new Metal Slugs, the slide move. Really good game. I did an actual overview on it for Ken 6275. All right. For my AES, I have Samurai Showdown. This is boxed and complete. First weapons-based fighter. Awesome game. Basically paved the way for games like Soul Calibur. Next up, also boxed and complete, is Samurai Showdown 2 for the AES. Really awesome game. Considered by many to be the pinnacle of the series. Next, Samurai Showdown 3. This is for my MVS. Very cool game. A lot of people didn't like it due to a few problems with hit detection and damage. The life bar, too much damage would be caused by certain moves, but still a really good game. Next is going to be Samurai Showdown 4 for my MVS. One of my personal favorites. Really cool game. Awesome graphics, corrected a lot of issues that were with Samurai Showdown 3. Next up, it's going to be Samurai Showdown 5 for my MVS. Okay game. I did a gameplay for Y2J Codelaker on this. Okay game, not the best in the series, but still a pretty good game. Okay, for the AES, it's going to be the original Fatal Fury. Probably considered the worst Neo Geo cover ever, and probably one of the crappier fighting games, but it was their first fighting game. It was their answer to Street Fighter at the time. It's an okay game. As you can see at the top, see that dog right over there? That was Neo Geo's initial logo. It was their pit bull, meaning they're bigger, badder, better. Next for the AES. By the way, that is boxed and complete, that Fatal Fury. Also another boxed and complete game, Fatal Fury 2. Really good game. Was basically a step in the right direction as far as Fatal Fury was going. And next up is Fatal Fury Special, a personal favorite of mine. Really awesome game. I did an overview on that personally. Really good game. Definitely the best in the regular Fatal Fury series. Next up is going to be my MVS copy of Fatal Fury that was given to me by MC Pentland, better known as Marty. Really cool. I got an awesome shock box for it. Glad to have it. Also, the Fatal Fury Special is complete with manual. Next is going to be Fatal Fury 3. This is the road to the final victory. This is the Japanese copy. Pretty good game. Not the best in the Fatal Fury, but still really good. This box is incomplete, and like I said, that's a Japanese copy. Next, it's going to be Real Bout. Really good game for my AES. This is the first in the Real Bout games. Really cool. Changed up the gameplay. Just an overall real good game. Featured ring outs. I just love the box art. This is also complete. Next is going to be Real Bout Special for AES. Very cool. Very smooth looking graphics. A lot of gameplay enhancements. Brought back some old characters. Really cool game. That's also complete. Next is going to be Real Bout 2, The Newcomers. Really, really good game. Brought 2 new characters to the series. Way better graphics, more focused on tournament style gameplay. Awesome game. Last but not least in the Fatal Fury for my MVS is Garou, Mark of the Wolves. Also, by the way, that Fatal Fury 2 Newcomers is missing the manual for my AES. Very awesome game. Considered by many to be the best Neo Geo game. I mean, that's up for debate, but still awesome series. Next, it's going to be the legendary The King of Fighters 94. This is for my AES. It's boxed and complete. This is probably one of the first fighting games I ever got for the system. Really awesome game. Absolutely awesome. Next, it's going to be The King of Fighters 1995. This is the game that allowed you to team edit. And basically allowed you to team edit till currently, The King of Fighters 13. Really good game. Introduced Yagami. Very cool character. Next up is the King of Fighters 96. By the way, that King of Fighters 95 is box complete. King of Fighters 96 for my AES, also complete. Pretty good game. Not the best in the series, but it changed up the graphics and added a few new characters. Good game. By the way, as you see, those were Japanese copies. Next is going to be the King of Fighters 1997. Outstanding game. I did a overview for Noel DJ 3200. Great game. Correct a lot of problems that were with 1996. Awesome game. Next is considered the pinnacle in the series. Is the King of Fighters 1998. Awesome game. Like I said, some people consider it the pinnacle. It's considered a dream match. A lot of teams were brought back. Awesome stuff in here. When you purchase this, like in this one, that's box complete, just like 97 is. It comes with an art manual. It's kind of like an art manual and a move guide at the same time. Really cool. King of Fighters 1999. See, really cool box. I love these Japanese boxes. I love the art on them. Very cool game. Basically introduced the strikers in the King of Fighters series. If you're not sure what that is, it's basically like an additional member of the basically whatever team you pick, and they help out during the fight. Really cool. And this also comes, this is box complete also. That one also comes with, I think, a telephone card, if I'm not mistaken. The last and final of the King of Fighters series by the old SNK. It's a Japanese copy. Very cool game. Not one of my favorites, but really cool. The American copy is insanely rare, and if you got a hold of one of them, you have at least a $8,000 to $10,000 worth game. Next up is King of Fighters 2001. A lot of people really don't like it. I actually do like the game a lot, just don't like the art style or the goofy music. Still a really good game. Really awesome. It's box complete. Next, it's going to be the King of Fighters 2002. One of my personal favorites. Awesome game. Really cool. Brought back a lot of the members that were in like 1998. Really cool. Box complete also. Next up The King of Fighters 2003. This is for my Neo Geo MVS. Very cool game. It allowed you to do the tag battle, which was the first in the King of Fighters, first in a King of Fighters game. Very cool game. The AES version, the reason why I don't have it, is just really expensive. Next, it's going to be World Heroes. Some people, it's one of these series either you like or you don't. This is the first game, not the best, of course. Still really cool. It introduced like death matches in the fighting game. Very cool, very Street Fighter-esque style gameplay. Not that really good of a game, but it was the start of actually a pretty good series. Next up is World Heroes 2. This is an awesome game. This is when the World Heroes actually got better. Very cool. Introduced new characters, stages, continued the death matches. Also, you'll see on the top, I think you can see that, it's $29.99. I got this at Babbage's back in the 90s when they were having like old stock. They were getting rid of a lot of old stocks. I was able to snag this American game for $30. Yeah, $30 brand new Neo Geo game. Go figure. Next up, it's going to be World Heroes 2 Jet. Very awesome game. Introduced a couple new characters. Supposed to have a little faster side gameplay, but there's really nothing that, fast about it. But it's still an awesome game. Next up, my most rarest game that I own for the Neo Geo is World Heroes Perfect. I did an overview on that. Very awesome game. Not many of these exist. Starting bids I've seen on eBay start at $1,000. Alright, next series. Art of Fighting. Japanese copy. I love the art on it. Very cool game. Introduced, the damage on the faces when players get hit. Introduced this, the zoom in, zoom out feature in fighting games. Not the best in the series, but a really good start. My personal favorite, Art of Fighting 2. Another overview of this. Really cool. Love the graphics. Love the sound. A big change up. Really great game. Next up is Path of the Warrior, Art of Fighting 3. This is for my MVS. Very cool game. It's not my favorite in the series, but it features stop motion for the characters, giving them realistic look. And play wise, very cool games. Considered by many probably the best in the series. Alright, everybody's lovable, shitty beat 'em up is Brain Fight, a clone of basically Final Fight. Very cool game. Some people love it or hate it. It's not a bad game, just not as good as Final Fight. Really cool. Next is going to be for my MVS is Bust a Move. Puzzle game, or Puzzle Bobble goes by. This is actually a bootleg, it turned out to be, but I still got boxed for it anyway. I don't like bootlegs at all, but I still kept it. It's still a very enjoyable game. Next up is Cyberlip. Basically a running gun shooter for the Neo Geo, an early running gun shooter before Metal Slug. Really cool game. A little on the difficult side, certain parts, but still really fun. I really enjoy it. Next up is 8-Man. 8-Man, I believe, is either based on a television show or comic in Japan. It's not a bad little beat 'em up. Very colorful graphics. Pretty fun gameplay. Short game, but still awesome nonetheless. And you can see that's a dog tag too. Next up, pretty sure most people have heard of it, is the King of the Monsters 2. I don't have the first one. Really cool graphics, very fun game to play. A little on the kind of a brutal AI, but a little bit of control issues, but still a good game. Next up, it's going to be for my MVS is Magical Drop 2. This is a puzzle game in the sense of sort of like a Puzzle Bobble. It's not bad. I can't get into it as much as Puzzle Bobble, but it's still a really cool game. Next, the most brutally difficult game on the Neo Geo is Magician Lord. This game is notoriously hard. It's like one of the first platformers for the Neo Geo. Very cool game. It's just played with brutal difficulty. Awesome game, though. Next is another beat 'em up for the Neo Geo, Mutation Nation. Very, very cool game. I actually consider one of the best beat 'em ups. Has some pretty cool graphics on it. Very well known game, and people give it a lot of accolades. Another lovable but shitty game is Ninja Combat. Very early beat 'em up for the Neo Geo. Very cool. Like I said, I kind of liked the graphics when I was a kid. I thought they were pretty cool. But, you know, this type of game that you only like because you play for nostalgia. And if you look, I don't know if if you can see the price tag of $199. And if you can see the time when it came out, I don't know if it can focus, it's 1990. Yes, 1990, $199. Next up, Robo Army. Really awesome game. Beat 'em up. Basically, it's a beat 'em up with, you know, warriors that are like robots / human. Very cool game. Pretty enjoyable. Next is going to be Sengoku. Another beat 'em up. I did an overview of the second one for Old School 81. It's an okay game. Had a lot of cool concepts, but in all actuality, it kind of fails as a beat 'em up. It's just not really fun to play. It's kind of boring. Next is going to be Sengoku 2. This is a really good game. Very cool. I did the overview, like I said, for Old School 81. Also, all the AES games that I listed are boxed and complete. Next up is Baseball Stars. Now, the interesting thing about this is this was a really good Nintendo game, but if you actually look at the box, you notice it's actually a carton box. So, as you can see, the cartridge is right in there, and the manual is underneath. These were some early releases. Some of these cartridge boxes are extremely rare. But yeah, you can see why they ditched them. As you can see, the corners, they kind of bend and, you know, get all frayed and shit. But still a good game. Next up, my personal favorite sports game for the Neo Geo is Baseball Stars 2. Really, really good game. Cool graphics, really fun to play. Probably one of the best sports games ever created. Next, it's going to be League Bowling. What can I say? It's an early Neo Geo game, and it's bowling. Really cool. It's like one of these type of games you'd play in like a bar or something. Next is going to be 2020 Baseball for my AES. I just did an overview for Mr. Darren Walshaw. Okay game, not as good as, you know, Baseball Stars 2, but still okay. Next is going to be one shitty sports game. It's going to be Top Players Golf. Probably one of the worst sports games ever. I got this off of Crazy Cubano, really good YouTuber. It's just horrible graphics, horrible gameplay. Just a terrible game, but I got it off them for a good price. So, it's a good price. I'm not going to turn it down. Next up, Wrestlers of Dark Combat. This is for my MVS. Very interesting game by ADK. Get it? ADK. Ha ha ha. Not a bad game. It's kind of like a pseudo 3D fighter. It's okay. It has a lot of cool concepts. Basically, like kind of like a roaming environment, 3D type of ring. But control-wise and AI, it just doesn't execute that well. Next up is going to be Kabuki Clash Far East of Eden series. If anybody's familiar with the RPGs, well, this is a fighting game of that series. I don't think it was released in the States. I think they were over Japan, and they never came here. It's like a Samurai Showdown, yeah, like a Samurai Showdown game, but very colorful graphics, very cool. I like the game. I think it's pretty good. Next up, it's going to be Karnov's Revenge, basically also known as Fighter's History Dynamite. As you can see, I did an overview for Hygiene 76. He asked me to. Nice game, a little on the difficult side. Next up, it's going to be The Last Blade. Very, very awesome series. Awesome YouTuber, Mr. Do206, requested my overview while going this. Very awesome game. Okay, next up is Ninja Masters. This is 78 Strider Strikes Back, favorite fighting game and Neo Geo game. Very cool game. I did an overview for him on that. Let's say it. This is my MVS copy. Very cool game. Next, it's going to be SVC Chaos. This is for my AES. Pretty cool game. It's got a few flaws in it, but still a good game nonetheless. Despite its flaws, it's still really cool. That's also box complete. Next up for my MVS is going to be Waku Waku 7. Very colorful fighter. Very awesome cast of characters. Really cool game. Maybe sometime I'll do an overview of it. Very awesome game for my MVS. Next up, it's going to be Nam 1975. Got this in a trade with good old Ken6275, or Uncle Kenny as I like to call him. Very cool YouTuber. Very good game. This, I believe, is actually the first Neo Geo game, if I'm not mistaken. Very good game, just brutally difficult. Next is going to be the Super Spy. I did a review for Darren Walshock on this. Really good first-person beat-em-up / shooter. Very, very cool game. Alright, next up, let's go into some sports again. It's going to be another trade. That was also the Super Spy, was another trade with Kenny. Next is Tecmo World Soccer 96. If everybody knows Tecmo, they know him from like Tecmo Super Bowl and all. Very cool soccer game. This is also for my MVS. Very cool. Alright, so I showed you this side. Wait a minute, we're not done. Let me scroll over here. And I've got another shelf. Next up, it's going to be Super Sidekicks. This is for my MVS. Very awesome, awesome soccer game. If you're into soccer, Neo Geo's got your fix. This right here is Super Sidekicks 2. Of course, it's a Japanese copy. Got it for a really good price. Very awesome game. Like I said, if you like soccer, you're going to like it. Next up, it's going to be Super Sidekicks 3. Again, soccer. Can't go wrong with soccer. Really cool game. Very enjoyable. Next, it's going to be Cross Swords. Very cool game. Kind of like an action RPG. I did an overview for this for Bolin Ben. Very cool game. Next, it's actually a game that I was kind of got because the Weekend Game Guy won. I believe it was really like this shooter game. Is Ghost Pilots. Very cool game for my AES. It's a very simple game in the sense of gameplay, but it's still a really hard game. And I'm not a big fan of shmups, and I actually like this game a lot. It's also box complete, and actually it was brand new. It still has its tag on it. And last, but most certainly not least, is Galaxy Fight. Made by Sunsoft. This is actually the game that came before Waku Waku 7. So it has some elements that are like it. A lot of people don't like this game because it's so hard. It's very difficult. It's not the best fighting game ever, but it's actually still pretty cool. Okay. And that's as far as my games. At the bottom, you'll see right there, is the Mass Joystick that I got from Kenny. He was really nice enough to send that to me. Super awesome guy. Next is my CMVS. Basically, it's my consoleized MVS, and the MVS is the multi-video system. This is a 2-slot. Got off eBay. Currently trying to work out something with Kenny to actually basically paint it and basically get it set to have a component. It's basically set to AV and an S video. Okay, that's what a Neo Geo controller actually looks like. You know, actual arcade stick with the buttons. Okay, this is my modded Neo Geo. I think it's the Japanese copy. In it right now, is memory card. This was the system, the first due to memory cards, not the PlayStation. And this is what they look like. You could actually take this to the arcade, put it in a machine, and be able to play a game that either you have at home or in the arcade, if you have vice versa, that you can actually play it at home and save your data. And last but not least is my original Neo Geo AES system. It's a little dusty because my cat was using it as a pillow. But I got this back in 1994. As you can see, if it kind of will focus, if you look at that serial number, and look how low it is, until I got it like a long time ago. It's very hard to find serial numbers that low. Only lowest one I've actually seen was Old School 81's, where his was like at 14,000, which is super cool. Okay, people, just one last look at my shelf of Neo Geo. Also, forgot to mention is I have the Super MVS SNK Converter 2. Basically what it was is a little device. It was like a, what do you call that? Like a third-party device, or not third-party, but like an aftermarket device used to play MVS games on the AES console. It's very expensive. It doesn't really work that well, especially with games that actually have scaling in it, so I don't recommend it. But I like the box and all. It's pretty cool. Also, this is in here is my game of the 161 games. It's a multi-card. It's actually like a hack of different ROMs. Not perfect, but it gives you a chance to play games that you might not normally get a chance to play. Very cool. Also up top, you'll see that these boxes that have labels on it are MVS kits. They're full kits. Metal Slug 4 is a full arcade kit. I've showed them in my previous videos. Metal Slug 5, full arcade kit. Super Sidekicks 3, full arcade kit. And Super Sidekicks, the original, full arcade kit. Alright, people, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this video wasn't too long. I know it's kind of hard to sit through a video that's about a half hour. But just one more look, as you see. My Neo Geo-esque type stuff. And like you said, I had to get another shelf because of my growing collection. Alright, one last look at the actual original console. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. I figured I'd give you an update because my first video was really piss poor as far as quality. And I hope this one takes care of it. I want to thank all my subscribers and all the love I've been getting over the past few months. A big thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. And take care. See ya.